guys, this is a tutorial on my personal MX. Just to get started, this is what your finished product is going to look like. And yeah, so it's just a little bit heavier, more balanced version of the RSVP MX. Fail, but alright, so let's get started with the materials you'll need. First, pen-wise, you will need a Signo tip, a HGG tip, a penwish ring of any color, obviously, 2 HGG grips, and also any color, and a Pentel RSVP, and not that weird clicky version like the actual version. So that's all you're gonna need, like, in the pens area. So you'll also need some other stuff just to construct it. One of them being the Bic, just a normal Bic. And we'll see, I'll show you why this isn't in the pens area later. But you'll need a Bic, some nail clippers, a small file or drill bit, a lighter, some normal tape, some double-sided sticky tape, a X-Acto knife, or just a razor blade, and sandpaper, and also a surface to cut on. So that's going to be all the materials you need. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to construct the body and tip. So cut to. Alright, so now we're going to make the body of the pen, and for this you'll need obviously your RSVP, your 2 HGG grips, your tips, and your penwish ring. And also you'll need an insert, but I'm going to do that off camera because I've already explained how to do an insert in a different video. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your RSVP grip off of your RSVP and save that because we're going to need that later. And then you're going to take apart your RSVP, just take it all apart. So you're going to be left with just the clear barrel, and what you're going to want to do with this is you're going to sand down. You can see right there, there's a little raising on the barrel where the grip kind of got stuck in place. You're just going to sand that off, and then I'll show you what you do after that. But I'm going to cut to when I have this sanded off. Alright, so now this is pretty nice and flat for putting on the tips, but first what we're going to have to do is we are going to tape up this barrel and actually assemble the tips. But first we're just going to, alright, this is the end of the tape, but just going to tape up this barrel because the HGG grips, if this is not taped up, will wiggle around and kind of like, they're too thick for the barrel of the RSVP. So we're just going to tape it up and make sure that there are no wrinkles when it's taped, so that when you're like actually doing wipers and stuff, you won't be able to feel the little wrinkles through the grips. So after that, we're going to actually put these two grips together, but since the RSVP, or not the RSVP, the HGG and the Signo tips do not just fit together, we're going to need the double-sided sticky tape. So just get a little bit of this and put it in between the HGG and the Signo tips. So just put a little bit on the Signo tip, and this will not like tarnish the Signo tip if you plan on taking this pen apart later to make a different mod. But when I make these, I use like Signo tips from my old mods that I have replaced on them because they're all like, they're not going to be showing in the actual mod, so it doesn't really matter if they look like crap. So once you have the tape on there, you're just going to screw the HGG tip on. Let me just finish that up. And there we go. So just make sure that the HGG and the Signo tip are together, that they're not going to come apart, and that they are relatively aligned with each other. So after you've done this, you are going to tape up the tip of your barrel, and again do this with the double-sided sticky tape. Just gonna tape it up so we can screw the Signo tip on, and here we go. Then just put the Signo tip over it, screw it on, and there you go. It doesn't have to be extremely tight because the HGG grips will also hold it in place, but you want to have it so you're not losing your tips all the time. So now all we gotta do is put on the grips and then we're done. And so to do this, first you're just gonna start with your penwish ring, put that all the way at the bottom. It's annoying how these just like don't stay where you put them, but alright, so got that on there. And then this is the tricky part of the like barrel and stuff. What you're gonna do is, if you have seen an HGG grip before, you know that there's this little ring at the end, and you don't want that in the, since we're gonna extend this grip so that it covers up to the HGG tip, we need to cut up these grips so that it looks just like one long HGG grip. And so what you're gonna do is, if you notice, you're not gonna be able to see this with my camera, but there are little indents or little divots in the grip, and you're gonna want to cut in between those because it looks bad if you like can notice the partings in between the HGG grip. So what you're gonna do is, with the first grip, you are going to cut it just before the long divot in the grip. And if you're doing this right now, you'll be able to see where the divot is. But you're just going to cut the HGG grip just like that, and just make sure that you do not cut open through the divot. And we're going to save this part of the grip for later, so hold on to this. And then just put this part onto your barrel. And this is where the taping up the barrel comes in handy, because it stays on nice and tight and you won't be able to feel any of the wrinkles or whatever. And then now for this one, you're just going to measure it off so that it will come up onto the HGG tip, but it will not come too far up. So you just want to kind of measure it up and then cut it where you think it will fit. And always when you're cutting grips, just know that you can always come back and cut it again. So always cut it bigger than you think it has to be, so that you can come back and make corrections. Because if you cut it too small and you only have 2 HGG grips, you're not making a mod. And there we go. So as you can see there, that looks pretty good. And there we go. So that is the actual tip part of your mod. Now we're just gonna deal with the back plug and the ink tube. So just for this, all you're gonna do is take your little drill bit or your file and just drill through the little, you'll see a kind of hole type thing in there already, but it doesn't go all the way through the back cap. So you're just going to drill through this. And I'm also going to cut the footage for this part, so I'll see you guys when I have a hole in there. Okay, so I've gotten the hole in my back cap. And so you want this hole just to be big enough so that the tip of the ink tube of the RSVP will fit in there and won't go through. It'll just go in enough so that it can just fit through there so that you can write with it. And then obviously you're just gonna stick that onto your barrel and screw it in. And so this is your finished barrel of the mod. Obviously, you can put in an insert, which is what I'm going to do, but I will do that off camera because you guys probably don't want to see that. So I'm going to go ahead and skip to where we make the cap. So I'll see you there. Alright, so now we're going to be making the cap of the mod. And for this, you'll just need the RSVP cap, RSVP grip, and the part that you saved of the HGG grip earlier. So what you're going to do first, just like the RSVP MX, you're going to break off this and type the clip or whatever. And by this, you're just going to, or to do this, you're just going to bend this back and forth, kind of twist it and stuff, and then just wait till it comes off. And a way that I found was really easy to do this is you can just use the nail clippers once you have it pretty bendy and pretty loose. Instead of waiting for it to get white and weak, you can just snap it off just like that, and it looks like you used the lighter to melt it, and you don't have to go through the whole deal of sanding it down, melting it, and then touching it up and stuff. This way, as you can see there, or as you cannot if it's focusing, but it is a very fast way to get the smooth finish on the cap without using the lighter. But if you want to go old school, that's why I said you needed the lighter and stuff. So you can go ahead and sand this down, use the lighter, light it, melt it, and then good to go. And if you want to know more in depth how to do that, look at my RSVP MX tutorial. But let's continue. So from here, you're going to put the the HGG grip inside of the cap, and to do this, you'll need your Bic. That's why I said it wasn't a pen part, but a mod making part type thing, whatever. And to start, just use the back of it to just kind of push it in far, and then once you get it in pretty far, you can use the tip to just really work it in there. But this is probably the most annoying part of making the mod, just because it's so difficult to just push it in there. I'm surprised this actually got in pretty well. So yeah, there you go. You've got your HGG grip in the cap. Now all you're going to do is put your RSVP grip in the cap. And just like with the RSVP MX, you're just going to put it up until the end of the grip reaches the little nub, or whatever you're going to call that right there. So again, you can just use the Victory or the Bic barrel and just push it in, or you can use your actual mod and just push it in like that. And there you go. So, very simple cap. Just the only difference is the HGG grip, because it balances out the pen very nicely and adds a little bit of cool effect to it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut to the final process of just putting on the cap onto your barrel, and then you'll have your finished mod. So I'll cut to that. Alright, so I've put in my insert and put my cap on, and that's what it looks like. So this is the final product of the pen that you just saw me make, my personal MX. And so yeah, this tutorial was suggested by LiveTheHacks or LiveTheHacks or whatever. Yeah, he suggested this tutorial, and he's gonna actually make this mod, I think. So if you do end up making it, enjoy it, and please tell me how you think it spins. But that is pretty much it, guys. And so yeah, that has been the tutorial on my personal MX, and I suck at 2P2H spinning, but that is the tutorial on my personal MX. Please go ahead and leave any suggestions for tutorials in the comment section down there. And if you thought that this tutorial was helpful, or if you like this mod, please leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video.